What a training week this was. Oh shit. And sneaking some recovery in. That's right, we are recovering because we need it. Massive week. Very, very stoked on the week that was. Big week, not just for my own personal lifting, but for coaching. This would be probably the busiest week of the training block, let's call it, running everyone internationals and all the other cool things that are going on around the client base as well. I like to think that busy weeks are hard for everyone, even in coaches as well. We have the same challenges that everyone else has on a busy week, that being less opportunity for sleep, let alone quality sleep, because more stress due to all the exciting stuff that's going on, harder to maintain your good nutrition and good food. For me, being appointment based, hard to smash in all the snacks because you don't have all the breaks that you would probably maybe want, as well as the increased stress due to the very nice big lifting from the training week, requiring more recovery so I can go again because I want one more week. I don't think I'm greedy. I've been training 4-week blocks for this whole thing deliberately so I can get some more training in. Next week is going to be huge. Really looking forward to it. Looking forward to showing you this week's training week videos because things moved really, really good. The journey of pressing day. Have a look at this strong sausage. 60 kilo overhead press. No big deal. Wow. That's kind of sucked previously to what I've done before. However, I am excited to be continuing to press my pressing journey along. I have done previously pre-shoulder being a cooked potato, way more reps at 60 and press way more over my head. However, hitting 60 for me at the moment is a milestone. I managed to press that 60 relatively stably and not pull up sore in a bad way in my shoulder. So I am super duper stoked with that. I am hitting some heavier stuff at the moment, like I did with that 60 for a single. We'll just sit around there. Maybe next week we did hit some reps because I do need a little bit of volume for that growth. I didn't miss my bench day last week due to some night shift action at the hospital place doing security. So one of the things I like to do if there's not a need to push the weight up each week, like for the competition lift, like the deadlift, I don't need to throw my bench weight up. So all I did was the previous weight that I did 2 weeks ago. On this one, we got 60 for some incline press. Coming in off the shoulder press, being I'm obviously not the strongest in my shoulders, this does find that a little bit challenging, although it is moving quite nicely. We did push the pace, get through it with some pretty limited rest periods, and one of the huge highlights of my training sessions is be able to hang out with my family. We've got Coach Kendra here, just with her watchful eyes on the floor press for me. This one does challenge my shoulder stability a fair amount, but it is an exercise that has a lot of value. So I do want to see a little bit more of this in my training, but I do need to be mindful and start off and keep it relatively light. So 60 kilos is pretty much all I got here. It is moving well, but I mean, you can't see it, but I can certainly feel that I am struggling to maintain that shoulder lock back. I do rely a lot on having an arch and driving my back into the bench when I am benching. So this will be a nice one I'll muck around with a little bit over the coming weeks. See if we can get that full press up, continue to grow those arms. Coach Kendra taking care of the camera duties. Now here we fucking go. 260 pause deadlift. Coming into this session, I did decide to allow myself some amplitude. We're running some pre-training, we're running some caffeine. I am getting hyped and excited. Watch this. Nice little pause and fucking send it. You can see the smile on the face there. When I pulled this, to be very honest, and it will sound cocky, I thought I had misloaded the bar for some reason. It felt fucking very light. So it does show that all the hard work is starting to pay off. In the back of my mind, all I'm starting to think about now is I want to pause 280 next week. So how hard, how much effort do I need to put into this 260 to send it? Unfortunately, I lost my second single. This is the third one. This is the one I really fucking got after. Picking this thing up, man, I really feel like and I could have picked up anything today. I was absolutely on. It was the session to get after it as all of my crew was in. Here we go. Literally nothing to it. All of the crew were in for their final deadlifts coming in and that, so the atmosphere was on point. Moving along into the working stuff. We got on here 3 reds blue, 210, some change, 15 change. What's that? 225 at the top. Just cranking away with some volume here. Feeling tight after the 60s, but the weight's feeling light, so that's the main thing. Holding the 5s, no dramas. I think we'll push along next week and aim to try and have the 4 reds on there with the chains. That'll give me a nice 235 at the top for lockout for 5s. I think that's pretty good volume coming off some big singles. The snatchies, and due to me being incredibly lazy, I kept 3 reds on there. Probably, I think I was meant to be around 160 on this, but these felt incredible as well. I would be interested and a little curious if we can move 200 with that snatch group next week. So depending on how the 280s go, we might throw this in there. I must say on a personal note, I am really enjoying this snatch grip. Block pulls, my upper back is getting a hell of a lot of work here. Glutes and hammies getting a little bit there. My grip is getting annihilated, which I'm loving. Now, I will say, allowing myself a little bit more amplitude on that session and getting fired up, running the stimulants to really bring me up for that session. I woke up that next day, cooked. We trained a day early, so we had some family stuff on Saturday, so this is a Friday session, losing that day's training. Plus, coming into this session a bit tired, I ran the strategy of hitting that 175 for a single to see that as well. So I felt good enough to throw a little bit more on there to hit the single. It gave me 195. Happy with that for the day. And then the quest for more, so that's one heavy one. We back down and hit some 5s here, and I must say I'm a little shifty and a little gross here. I was starting to feel a little bit of fatigue, but I had hit only one top single at that 195, so I wanted to hit a back down set, hold the 5s, which gives me a bit more effort than the previous week, which is nice. Pushing through here, I do feel my depth getting a little bit better, so just getting a little bit more used to the low bar and the movement itself. The good thing is the weight feels light on the shoulders, just feel a bit sluggish out of the hole. You know, losing that extra day training on a Friday instead of a Saturday definitely plays a part in there. If I was to be honest with the session, if I was feeling any flatter than that, I would have happily have dropped the weight back on this. But I felt good enough to do that, we did, so no big deal. Moving into the accessories, I am feeling that fatigue like I've said about 20 times already. I'm probably sick of it, so instead of pushing this along and knowing that I've already pushed up a top single, I decided to keep the reps and the weight exactly the same with the pauses that I had done for the last couple of weeks, and just work on making them tighter and feel better. Keeping the rest periods down so we can just push the pace on these. These felt quite nice, staying beltless. Depending on how we go next week, it'll be probably my 4th week of hitting this 2.5. We could look to add a little bit more weight, but we'll just see how we're feeling after the big pause deadies. I do expect there to be a cost off those. Actually, cancel that. There will be no squats next week because we're heading away for nationals, so there'll be no squats to watch. We'll be down in Adelaide wrapping knees. Front squats now, I thought I'd add this little one in. That upper back gets tight as fuck. It can be hard to find that front rack position for anyone. That is my go-to, a nice little side lat stretch. We call it a modified prayer stretch if you like. I'd like to sort of crunch and massage the triceps a little bit as well, just over that barbell, and I do find that helps me get into that front rack position a little nicer. Anyone struggling with front rack, I do say give that a crack. 2 plates in there, a little bit more than what I've been doing previous. Due to laziness, it's easy just to take a 10 off and keep 2 plates on there. I will say I think I jumped maybe 10 on previous week. My little quaddies were sore after this one, but happy to move the 100. Front squats are that funny exercise. I love the idea of them. I love them when they're heavy. I enjoy the benefits of them, but during the process, having a bar shoved into your neck makes it hard to breathe, and you're a bit like, oh man, these suck. And highlight of the week, my lovely wife crushing 115 on the trap bar with Kendra watching on, and my boy Jimmy. This would have to be lift of the week. It's a 255, last training pull before he heads off to nationals. This thing is an absolute grind. It's 10 kilos more than his best ever on a training pull. And watch this. I am fired up for this. A little bit of extra motivation coming in there, and the face is screaming and yelling at him. He's pumped. I'm pumped. There's what the back slap looks like. And now quick chatting on recovery. To finish the week up, we went as a crew down to Recovery Science to go hit those cold tubs and hit the compression boots and hit some sauna time. Mate, absolutely needed for myself. I am looking forward to next week because I'm going to be feeling fresh and ready to go.